All languages and scripts of the East and West originate from the Korean language. Hello, my name is Kim So-jung, and I am the assistant for Director Shin. Director Shin Yu-sung has spent the past 50 years exploring the origins of human language and script. In 2006, he became the first person in the world to completely decipher 4,500 characters of the Oracle Bone script, and in 2018, he presented a thesis on the Oracle Bone script at Sichuan University in China, and in 2019, he presented one at Nanjing University. The upcoming publication, titled All Languages and Scripts of the East and West, originate from the Korean language. It is the culmination of academic research that scientifically proves that all human languages and scripts originated from the Korean language and the Oracle Bone script. This research is significant because it corrects the distorted interpretations of East and West languages and newly illuminates Korea's historical and cultural status. All languages and scripts of the East and West originate from the Korean language. Shin Yu-sung, director of the World Script Research Institute. Research overview. The root of human civilization lies in language and script. Until now, academia has only traced the origins of Eastern and Western languages to a very limited extent, such as Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. The Western-centric approach has failed to provide a fundamental answer regarding the root of human language. Based on over 50 years of Oracle Bone script decipherment and comparative linguistic analysis, this research reveals that the genesis of all human languages and scripts lies in the Korean language and the Oracle Bone script, which originated from Korean customs. 2006, complete decipherment of 4,500 characters of the Oracle Bone script for the first time in the world. 2018, presentation of papers at Sichuan University, China, and at Nanjing University in 2019. Chinese characters. English-Korean language, upcoming publication of All Languages and Scripts of the East and West, originate from the Korean language, result of the decipherment of the Oracle Bone script, the origin of Chinese characters. Example, DD younger brother. Right arrow, dao, shaped like a harpoon and a rope. Right arrow, dao, meaning below and properly, right arrow derivatives, ladder TTC, tears TT, to shave the head TT. The character yi, a, sorrow grief, which is formed by the components for mouth ko and clothing garment yi, becomes the Korean words ibda to wear put on and ifida to dress cover. Association with the concept of aa intestines guts, often used to mean deep emotion, right arrow. The meaning and phonological structure of the Oracle Bone script can be completely interpreted within the logical system of the Korean language, right arrow dalaise dalgi, proving that Korean is the root of East Asian and world scripts. 4. Academic significance. Reinterpretation of the root of human language. Right arrow restoration of the cultural identity of the Korean language, Hangul, and the Oracle Bone script provides academic basis to counter-distorted etymological interpretations, the Northeast Project Dongbei Gongcheng, and similar claims. Restoring the humanities in the age of AI, research that reveals the root of language, the fundamental compass for human thought, philosophy, and culture. 5. Future vision. Expansion of AI-based integrated language education content centered on the Korean language and the Oracle Bone script. Establishment of a visualization platform that connects the pronunciation and meaning systems of Chinese characters, English, and the Korean language. Promotion of publication in international academic journals and translation into multiple languages. 6. Conclusion. This research is not merely linguistics. It will become the final foundation that secures the academic revolution of newly establishing the lineage of human civilization and the entire system of language and script. Author Shin Yu-sung, director of the World Script Research Institute. The root of human language and script lies in the Korean language. The origin of East-West civilization's language and script revealed through the decipherment of the Oracle Bone script. Shin Yu-sung, director of the World Script Research Institute. The root of human civilization lies in language and script. However, up until now, the academic world has only traced the origins of Eastern and Western languages, partially and fragmentarily, focusing on sources like Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. This Western-centric etymological interpretation has failed for a long time to provide an accurate answer to the question of the root of language and script. After 50 years of research, I have determined that the genesis of all human languages and scripts originated from the Oracle bone script, which was created with the Korean language and Korean customs, and this has been confirmed through the complete decipherment of the Oracle bone script. Although Chinese characters, the pictographic script of China, have long been recognized as the center of the Sinosphere Hanja cultural sphere, when one deciphers the Oracle bone script, their most fundamental and original form, the Korean language's pronunciation and semantic system remain, having been passed down exactly as they were. The number of Chinese characters has increased to over 90,000, but all of them have become meaningless riddles. For example, it is as follows. Why do 9 people become enemies, Cho? Why does a sweet tree gone moo become certain person or someone Mao? Why does a long brush-like element become to be arrogant, reckless? Why does the younger brother's tree become a ladder? Why does the younger brother's water become tears? Why does the younger brother's knife become to shave the head or to cut hair? The Oracle bone script character for DD, younger brother, is drawn in the shape of a harpoon and a rope used to catch a large fish. The rope is tied below the harpoon to properly catch a large fish, which is why the pronunciation is a. In a family context among siblings, Xiongdi, the person who ranks below, is the younger brother. The important hidden meanings of the Oracle bone script drawing are properly and below. The character DD, younger brother, only means younger brother when used alone, but when combined with other Chinese characters, it must be interpreted using its hidden meaning of below. The character TTC, ladder, is not younger brother wood. It is a ladder T made of wood mu to climb up from below D. The character TT, tears, is not younger brother's water. When water sand falls down dye from the eyes, it becomes tears T. The character TT, to shave cut hair, is not younger brother's knife. To shave the head tie using a knife dow to make hair fall down D. In this way, no matter how many Chinese characters combine with DIE, they must all be interpreted consistently using the meanings below and properly for the decipherment of the Oracle bone script to be correct. The ancestral rites, Jisa for properly serving God, Haneonim, the system, Jido for properly governing the nation, the drafting Jido of properly drawn designs, salvation, Jido that properly guides sentient beings, archipelago, Jido where islands are properly gathered. When the pronunciation is Ji or Che, the meaning of properly or below is included in all cases. Humanity has suffered for over 5,000 years because it has not known the hidden meanings and the principles of pronunciation for all languages and scripts. For all languages and scripts, the principle of existence and non-existence, yumu biopshik, and the principle of consonants, being heavy and vowels, being light, jajung mopyeon, are important. If one examines the Oracle bone script character for I, this question completes the thought process that director Shin Yu-sung uses to demonstrate the Korean origin of the character AE. He speech made with the mouth is phonologically linked to the clothing, which forms the Korean words ibdae. When one is sorrowful, the intestines are damaged, which is metaphorically called heartbreak, gut-wrenching grief, or the sorrow of cut intestines, donjangwi sulpum. The pronunciation originates from the purely Korean word for intestines, ai. Therefore, all Chinese characters pronounced aa contain the meaning agi tanda, to be anxious, restless, or gut-wrenched in sorrow, passion. I love. When 2 people love each other, they are gut-wrenched, anxious. A hinder obstruct one is gut-wrenched anxious when someone prevents them from doing work. Yeah, cliff precipice one is gut-wrenched anxious when stuck at a precipice with nowhere to go. I narrow confined one is gut-wrenched anxious when the place is too narrow confined. In other words, the Oracle bone script is not just the origin of Chinese characters, but also evidence demonstrating that our nation's language and script form the foundation of East Asian civilization and culture. The meaning of all Chinese characters can absolutely never be known without deciphering the Oracle bone script. This research does not merely remain a linguistic problem. It can be called an academic and cultural revolution that sheds new light on the history of human civilization and the identity of Korean history. In the age of accelerating artificial intelligence and global linguistic convergence, the study of the archetype of script, focusing on the Korean language and the Oracle bone script, can present a new paradigm and direction for world language education. In particular, the fact that diverse languages, including English, Chinese, and Vietnamese, fundamentally share the sound system of the Korean language will bring about great changes globally in the educational and cultural industries. Furthermore, the core Western language, English, is entirely taught through rote memorization, where even native speakers are unaware of or treat as unknown the etymology of words. However, it has been academically proven that the principle of the human body, a microcosm of the universe, originated from the etymology of the Korean language. For example, a principle used frequently in daily life since the Gojoseon period, and which depicted the human body as the unification of heaven, earth, and humanity, Cheonjin, was the arrangement of a circle, square, and triangle, Wonbangok. Glish words that include or derive from the Korean sound hor-ti in their structure, as seen in the Korean phrase, to think with the head meoriro sengakata, are formed as follows. Head. Heed to pay careful attention to. Hide, 머리를 숨다. Hood is head a covering for the head and neck. Hat is a covering for the head, often with a brim. Hate is to feel intense or passionate dislike for. Hit to strike, often referring to an idea suddenly striking the mind. Heat is high temperature or warmth, often referring to a fever or passion in the head. Hot feeling intense warmth or heat, particularly if the head body has a fever. Innumerable words are naturally generated from the human body. Through this research, I have uncovered how languages of the East and West, and even that which has been distorted until now, incorrectly transmitted Hebrew and Egyptian hieroglyphs are also being correctly reinterpreted through the Oracle bone script and the Korean language. This path of uncovering the roots of Eastern and Western languages is not merely about looking back at the past, but about moving forward and developing the correct path for the language and script of the future. The question me, why should the humanities return to the center stage in the age of AI? The rapid development of artificial intelligence in the 21st century is revolutionizing human life. AI writes text and creates pictures and music. However, within that convenience, there is something we are forgetting. That is the power to think, in other words, humanistic contemplation reasoning. It is a phenomenon where the intellectual foundation of humanity is being greatly weakened. Even if AI is smart, it is merely a tool created by humans. AI cannot understand the roots of emotion, nor can it interpret the fundamental meaning of language. Language and script are not merely means of communication, they are the spiritual map through which humanity perceives and contemplates the world. This research is the compass for exploring the roots of language and script. Oracle bone script and ancient writing systems are not mere records, but philosophical symbol systems. The research that deciphers them and connects them to modern language is an act of human intellectual creation that AI can absolutely never replace. In the age of AI, the humanities are not an unproductive field of study, but the core discipline that safeguards the fundamental essence of human existence from being dominated by machines. This research goes beyond a simple linguistic achievement. It will become a turning point that can globally shed new light on the history of human civilization and the identity of Korean culture. Activities and achievements of Shin Yu-sung, Director of the World Script Research Institute.